A couple weeks ago, I celebrated my 2-year anniversary of quitting my 9-to-5 job. So at the end of May, 2 years ago in 2019, I said goodbye forever to the corporate world and I became self-employed. Now, if you're looking for more information on kind of my journey, you can check out this video right here. But today, what I really want to do is answer some questions that you have all asked me about quitting my job. So I posted on Instagram sharing just kind of how the last 2 years have been in this entrepreneurial journey. And a lot of you had some other questions, and these are some really great questions. So I'm gonna be answering some of these today. Okay, so there were actually two really similar questions. So it was, what was the aha moment when you decided that it was time for you to quit? And another question is, when did you decide to leave? Is there a right time? So I think for me, there were several factors going into me quitting, and those were definitely first of all, I really wanted to be my own boss. Second, I felt like at my old job, it was kind of hard to get promoted, and I felt like the opportunities were less than what I would want. And the third thing is, for me, in considering my finances, I felt like I was at an okay place because thankfully I live at home with my parents and I don't have very big financial obligations. So I thought, okay, even if it doesn't work out, let me try this for a year. Let me see if it doesn't work out, and I'll get a job if it doesn't work out. But obviously, fingers crossed, I wanted things to work out, and so far they have worked out. So in the past 2 years, I have been able to replace my old salary. For you, if you're thinking about whether you should quit your job or when is the right time, I actually made a way more in-depth video right here about quitting my job and everything that I considered when I was making the decision to do that. In terms of whether or not there was some kind of event that made me leave my job, there kind of was, which I don't want to talk about it in public, but generally around that time, I also felt like I was at a really good place with my calligraphy business. I knew that if I kept going and if I had more time to work on my business, instead of just having 1 hour per day, I knew that I could turn it into a replacement of my full-time salary. Okay, the next question is, what were other people's reactions to the news of you quitting your job? So with my parents, I already told them that I was going to quit. So I gave them advance notice that I was going to quit before I actually handed in my resignation letter. And with my dad specifically, he was kind of worried because the job I had was pretty stable. And yeah, he was the only one that kind of had a negative reaction to the news that I wanted to do this. But I did discuss it with him. We actually had a sit down discussion of why I wanted to quit, what my plan was. So I kind of had a proposal that I kind of showed him of what I wanted to do if I quit my job. And in the end, he agreed to it. And we agreed that I would do this for a year. And if I couldn't make back my old salary, then I would get a job. So that was kind of the agreement I had. But everybody else, other than him, they were very happy. All my friends were very happy for me. I did get some people saying asking details about what my plan was and everything. And yeah, I would just explain to them that I'm going to teach calligraphy workshops full-time. At that time, I already knew that I wanted to become a business coach for calligraphers. So at that time, I hadn't done anything related to business coaching when I quit my job 2 years ago. But the reason for that was I didn't have enough time doing it as a side hustle. And I also had a lot of self-doubt. And I thought, okay, maybe I should get some more experience working on my business full time before I coach other people. So that's exactly what I did. for the first couple of months after I quit my job. I focused on my calligraphy business. I did more workshops. I did some on-site calligraphy. I continued to sell greeting cards, these greeting cards. And then like half a year later, that's when I officially launched coaching programs for calligraphers. Okay, next question. How did you expect your business to look versus how it is now? Okay, I'll tell you a bit more about my plan. So I made like this huge business plan for like the 3 months after I quit my job. And I thought that within 3 months, I could make back my old salary. And just to give you an idea, around the time I quit my job, I was making about $1,000 in revenue, and my full-time salary, I can't remember how much it was exactly, but I would say before tax around $4,000, maybe $4,000 per month. So I wanted to make $4,000. Actually, I had to make more than $4,000 in revenue because like there's expenses and stuff. So my plan was to make back my old salary in 3 months, which did not happen. It actually took double that time. So it took me 6 months to make back my old salary in like a 1 month kind of thing. And it's kind of hard to actually calculate if I matched it exactly because of expenses and everything. But generally it took me half a year to make back my old salary. And this was mainly from teaching calligraphy workshops that were public and corporate, selling greeting cards, doing on-site calligraphy, and some other random calligraphy things like, and art things like selling home paintings, things like that. Another thing I had in my plan was that within 3 months, I would start doing like I always called it the online stuff, because at the time when I quit my job, everything that I was doing was like physical. Like I had to do it in person. So like teaching a calligraphy workshop or doing like a painting, something like everything I had to do it in person, and all my income sources were things where I had to like physically do something. I had to either be somewhere or I had to do it and then package it. So I always had this thing where I would tell my boyfriend and my parents and my friends that I would do the online things and I mentioned this a couple of times before in my other videos, but when I quit my job, I really actually I wanted to be a digital nomad, and I wanted to be able to travel and work. So starting to do business coaching was my way of getting kind of transitioning from like a physical business into like an online business. So I would always say, yeah, just wait till I do the online stuff. And I kept saying online stuff. And then people would ask me, okay, when are you doing the online stuff? So in my 3-month plan, I actually planned to like start doing business coaching 3 months after I quit my job, but that did not happen because pretty much the main reason was I just felt scared and I wasn't qualified to coach other people because I had only quit my job like 3 months before, right? So how can I coach people? So yeah, it was mainly self-doubt, and I think another thing was I was super stressed trying to make money teaching workshops that I knew that with business coaching, I would have to like build an audience, and I would have to like kind of, how do you call it? I needed to become an expert and kind of be like an authority in the industry on how to start a business, a calligraphy business. So I had to put out some content. So I knew that the online stuff would take some time. Like it's not like me hosting a workshop where I can just put an event on Eventbrite and then get people to pay me and they sign up and then I teach them calligraphy. Like I knew that there was a process before I could actually launch coaching programs. And for me, that was like sharing more content about stuff. So in the first 3 months that I quit my job, I didn't launch any coaching programs or anything like that, but I did do some free trainings on how to start a calligraphy business and how to do calligraphy workshops. And I actually created my free Facebook group, which right now has more than, I think 600 people, or I think it's 600 people. It's called Calligraphy Business Bosses. So I've had that Facebook group for about 2 years now. You can join. It's a pretty active Facebook group, but I've done a ton of trainings in there, a ton of free trainings about how to grow your calligraphy business, how to grow your Instagram, how to price things. So I have a bunch of trainings in there, and it's a pretty active community of calligraphers all around the world who help each other. So in the first 3 months of me quitting my job, I actually started that community because I wanted to kind of position myself as an expert. And then 3 months after that, so about 6 months after I quit my job, that's when I actually launched coaching programs. Oh, and also in the 3 months after I quit my job, I had 3 beta coaching clients. So I actually coached 2 calligraphers and 1 musician who was starting out for free, kind of like testing out if I could coach. So overall, this is exactly what I kind of envisioned I would be doing. Oh, I did not think I would start a YouTube channel. I never planned to start a YouTube channel. I never wanted to be a YouTuber until last year. I was talking to one of my mentors, Ryan, and he actually suggested that I start a YouTube channel. And I actually talk about that way more in this video right here, like my 6 months YouTube journey. But yeah, that's like something 2 years ago I would never have imagined me doing. I never wanted to be a YouTuber, but now I do. So I guess that's like a learning point you can take away from this video. You will plan things out, but as your business grows or as your career grows, you'll get different ideas and your plans will change, and you just kind of adjust and things will change. Okay, the next question is, what's your favorite unexpected perk of working for yourself? I think there's definitely a lot of perks, but I think my favorite thing is I can set my own schedule and I can go wherever I want, whenever I want to. Okay, I haven't done a lot of traveling because of COVID, and also I think I just like, oh my gosh, in the first year, I guess the last 2 years, I basically have not traveled at all except for my very sad 5-day trip to China right before like COVID started. And that was actually like supposed to be a 1-month trip, but I went to China. It was January 2020, and 5 days in, I came back because COVID started over there. And we were so worried about this new coronavirus. So the reason why I was explaining my very sad trip is because in the last 2 years, I actually haven't traveled that much, but I've had a lot of like flexibility around my schedule in terms of if I want to hang out with friends, if I want to go hiking, or if I want to just do something in the middle of the week. Oh, another thing is I really like running, and in the winter, it's too dark to go in the morning, like before work, and at night, like after work. So I always go like right before lunch, or I go in the afternoon to run in the winter. So that's something that I wish I could do in my old job, but I couldn't because I was in the office all day. So that's definitely one of the things I love. Like I can run anytime. And another thing I mentioned before in one of my videos is that I actually split my time between my mom's place and my dad's place because they don't live together. So being able to like go back and forth and they live in 2 like different cities. So it takes like 30 minutes to drive back in like to one place. So because of that, and because I have to like pack up my laptop, and I kind of have to like pack up things before I go over to my mom's house or my dad's house, and I switch places like every 3 to 5 days based on what I need to do. So right now this is my dad's place, and most of my calligraphy things are here. So I need to like plan my schedule around what needs to be done. So that's definitely something that I love about being self-employed. like just having the flexibility to go wherever I want when I want to, and to not be in an office. But I will go traveling more. I definitely want to do that more after COVID. Okay, there's actually like way more questions, so maybe I'll make like another video, but I think this is getting long. So let me answer one more question. What were some mindset shifts that you had to go through, if any? I definitely went through a lot of mindset shifts. A lot. Like I think in the past 2 years, I've actually grown so much as a person from running this business. And I think one of the biggest mindset shifts that I had to go through is to like not care about what other people think, which is something that has been really hard for me because I've always been super like self-conscious, and growing up with like the group of friends that I had and with like Chinese parents, like there was always pressure to be a certain way. And I would always think like, you know, if I'm not that way, then people are thinking like Dina's not good or something like that. So yeah, learning to not really care about what other people think, especially like in the business community. Like I'm always comparing myself to other more successful people. And I realized that it's just not healthy, and it's not necessary for me to live my life. Like I can live my life doing what I want, and I don't have to care about what other people think. Of course, I care about what like the people I'm really close to, like what they think, but do I care about the other business owner over there who I barely know and what they think about my YouTube channel? No. And like even now, it's something that is hard for me, like comparing myself and thinking, I don't know what they'll think of me if I say this, or I don't know what they'll think of me if I do this, but I had to learn that it just doesn't matter. And there are a lot of other things. Maybe I should make like a separate mindset video later on. Oh, and one big thing that really, really helped me after I became self-employed is actually meditation, which I talked about before in my videos. But yeah, after I quit my job, my mind was just so occupied with so many things, like, oh my gosh, how can I make money? Oh my gosh, new idea, new business idea, or oh my gosh, like I need to do this. And I could not, it was really hard for me to focus on things because I had so much things going on and I was so stressed and I put so much pressure on myself. So having meditation and kind of training myself to calm my mind really helped. I'll make a video about meditation another time, but yeah, I hope that this video was helpful if you are thinking about quitting your job, or if you're just kind of curious what it's like to be self-employed. Let me know in the comments where you are right now. Are you working in a job? Do you want to quit your job? Or do you have a side hustle? I'd love to know. Also, let me know if you have any other questions about me quitting my job and what my experience has been running my business full-time for 2 years. And if you're interested in learning more about my journey being an entrepreneur, then you can check out this video on how I started my calligraphy business, and also this video about quitting my job. And that's all for today, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.